Alright, welcome to another figure updates video. Alright, it's another week, and this week is actually Golden Week for Japan, so it might be actually kind of slow, but I'm not too sure. But if you guys are like ordering stuff like over in Japan, I'm sure like shipping and all that stuff is going to be like super delayed. So just a warning out there. But this past weekend, there was an event 3-0 in Japan, so we'll get to those kind of figures when we get to it. So let's just jump right in. So there's a couple S.H.Figuarts figures from Jigoku Raku or Hell's Paradise. Just their typical action figure line. That is what S.H.Figuarts is. So you have Gabimaru, and then you have Sagiri. And you know what? There's nothing that really special about these. How it's painted, I mean, he's like a typical shinobi ninja. So it's kind of hard to see how he's like kind of in that robe, I guess, or whatever you call that. But most interesting really about these action figures, these figures are, they're going to be articulated and then they're going to move pretty well. Like I think I only have like one S.H.Figuarts. It's the Bochi one, which is a really, really small one. I don't think I actually have a bigger size, like a regular size S.H.Figuarts one. But really, it's just, I mean, it's S.H.Figuarts. What can I say? You get a ton of different faceplates, and really the one with the mask looks the best because how they sculpt these faces is not like that great. And same thing could be said about the Sagiri one too. She doesn't have much expressions, facial expressions. There's a couple faceplates here that I actually kind of like. The other two don't like too much. How it comes off in the picture doesn't look that great. To take pictures with the nose is always very, very difficult. So you kind of have to have a more like a 45-degree angle to kind of get a more accurate look of how like their nose shape looks like. Yeah, but Hell's Paradise in itself as an anime, it's a good one, but it's nothing special. Same opinion from the last video pretty much about how I feel about it. I watch it, it's enjoyable, but it's gonna soon pass and it's kind of gonna be like a whatever kind of anime to me. At least that's how I feel right now. Maybe a lot of things can change. I don't actually know what's gonna happen. So just 4 episodes in, I think, and then that's pretty much my general conclusions about the anime right now. But I do like the characters. Sagiri, Gabimaru, they're trying to make these characters a lot deeper than I think they are. But as these action figures themselves, I mean, these are always going to be decent options, at least for action figure wise. The next two are actually, One Piece figures. You have these, I guess, these dragons. I'll just say these dragons because I see it says Luffy and Kaidou on this one, but I'm only on episode like 134-ish right now, so I'm in this little filler part of One Piece very, very early on. Just thought I'd mention this because One Piece figures, I always gotta, because they're all coming out now, and as I watch more and more, I'm always thinking in my head, like, is this something that I want to buy when I actually end up watching the arcs? Like later on, am I gonna regret not buying these things right now? So that's why I still look at these newer One Piece figures. These are supposed to be very, very more like iconic. But yeah, either way, for these One Piece figures, you got like these 2 dragon kind of characters. Don't know who they are just yet. Just looking forward to kind of seeing what new One Piece figures come out, and then just do I want to hop on it early enough to where, as I actually get to those parts in One Piece, do I actually want to get these figures now before it's like too late? And then the next one is just, I'm getting more and more interested in the large and extra large sizes of the pop-up parades. So here you have the Colossal Titan, and it's under Armin. It just looks like all the other Colossal Titans. I'm not sure how people judge these kind of figures because they're supposed to be disgustingly looking, right? They're pretty damn disgusting. So I've seen some comments, like people kind of judging it, like especially like the face and stuff. I was like, I mean, I don't really know what to say. It's supposed to look raggedy looking, right? It's just not, it actually doesn't look terrible for what, I mean, it's supposed to represent. It's just the Colossal Titan. There's nothing really about it that I could say that's that negative. It looks like the Colossal Titan, guys. I don't know what else to say here. I feel fine with the face. It looks pretty despicable to me. And as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, there was a 3-0 event in Tokyo. I guess their only really big announcement, I guess, for me would be, Griffith, Reborn Band of Falcon version. So for this Griffith figure, it's under their 6th classification, so it's not like the Fig Zero. I'm not too sure what the difference is between the 6 classification and between the Fig Zero and the 6. I just know the 6, if you pull up a lot of the 306 classification figures, it's a lot of American base figures. So take that how you want it. But in general, most of their figures are 1/6 scale action figures. And one other thing to note about their Guts figure, before under the limited edition one, there were some QC issues with that one too. So I think a lot of people are very, very on edge about this Griffith one. But in my experience, at least their previous figures, I didn't have any QC issues with it. But specifically for the Guts one, I'm sure that people that got that one are very, very wary of getting this Griffith one. If there's any action figures that I would get that I look forward to the most and look at the most, it would be 3-0, because they make these 1/6 scale figures and they're bigger. They're bigger. And there's more opportunity for them to kind of cover up a lot of the joints. So that's why I really like them, because it's not a typical action, smaller, 1/12 size action figure. Kind of get to see all the joints, even around the torso, the chest area. 3-0, they make it look a lot more realistic. And that's why I like them. And of course, they're very, very affordable. They're anywhere between 140 to 160, which is like I'm perfectly fine with. Inflation hasn't really hit them that hard. Maybe it's an extra, $10. Maybe they used to be more towards 140. Now they're more 150, 160, which is something I'm still willing to spend. Not that big of a deal here. But yeah, so far it looks good. He's not painted in or anything like that. So I'm very interested to see how this kind of turns out. So yeah, you got Griffith 6 1/6 scale Reborn Band of Falcon version. If you go to Twitter and then you just go to 3-0 in Tokyo on that hashtag, it'll take you here where everyone's like, pulled up all the pictures from the event, pictures of figures, and there's tons of video. There's tons of videos online showing all of their older figures and some of the newer ones too, so you kind of get a closer look in video form, which is really, really cool. You kind of see all their One Punch Man figures, the older ones. They have a lot of like American, Western cultural popular figures too. And here you got like this One Piece figure, or here you have Jujutsu Kaisen, which is really, really dope. So check out like just on Twitter and you get to see a better look at them. And here's like the Anya one, which on the last video, I think people probably don't really care too much about Anya. But I mean, she looks good to me. I mean, the hair, maybe people still don't like the hair, but I'm willing to accept it for what it is. I'm fine with their faceplate. And you can kind of see in some other pictures and videos how like much smaller she is compared to everyone else, because obviously she's just a little small kid. But I don't know, I like it. And you got these the Chainsaw Man ones, you got the Power, those are kind of ones that that might be my only Chainsaw Man figures, actually. The only ones I actually feel like wanting to get and to actually collect. So yeah, check that out, guys, from the event from this past weekend. 3-0 in Tokyo is like the hashtag. So yeah, the next figure right here. This would be the Gigantic series from X Plus and Plex. So this figure right here is obviously Gohan Beast from Dragon Ball Superhero the movie. But if you look through a lot of their figures in the Gigantic series, I mean, the good thing is, like, if you want a gigantic figure that's like 1/4 scale or bigger, this is for you. The downside is the quality is not as great. And if you look through a lot of their pictures of a lot of the other like Dragon Ball characters, I think they might have One Piece as well, their faces are not that great. But as I look through this specific figure, this Gohan Beast figure, I do have some concerns about his face. Like, certain angles are not that great. This one's actually, pretty good from just straight ahead right here. But these pictures are still kind of grainy. How they made his chin like very, very like skinny, I guess. You kind of see his jawline is a little bit like too deep. So I still have some concerns about his face. But I mean, once this really comes out, I don't think this is going to sell out or anything very, very fast. So I mean, this is something I would want. I just want to like confirm it with the face that it looks good enough. I mean, the price is listed at 16,000 yen. There's no official release date, I don't think yet. On Hobby Genki, he's about 19,000 yen. It's about 138 bucks. With shipping, I pulled up the shipping for Hobby Genki too. Because he's so gigantic, guys, he's like listed at like 22 inches tall. Like, it's pretty damn huge. If you want super high quality for that size, now you're looking at the freeing B style. So you're looking at like $400 plus. So this actually gives us something in a larger size on a budget. But since it's still really big, the shipping is going to be really high. I mean, FedEx is like almost 17,000 yen, UPS 14,000, EMS 12,000. I mean, this is something. If I buy this, I'm going with surface mill parcel right here. So 4,700 yen, that's going to be a lot more affordable. So being around like 24,000 yen is 172 bucks. I think I seen him on Big Bad Toy Store too, and he was like 260 or something like that. They charge you tax and shipping and everything too. So I mean, you're looking more like at 280 for this figure if you're buying from like Big Bad Toy Store. I'm not too sure where else you could actually get this figure from, but right now, at least for Hobby Genki and then Nin Game, you're most likely looking anywhere between like 170 to like 230 bucks, depending on your shipping option for this figure. And staying with Dragon Ball right here, also S.H.Figuarts is Metal Cooler. I mean, Metal Cooler, he's a movie only character, but I mean, he has some cool designs. Like even movie 5, you know, when he had his extra form, that was pretty damn cool. And Metal Cooler in movie 6, you got to see Goku and Vegeta fight him, which is really, really cool. I mean, we never really got to see them fight together, I don't think, as Super Saiyans in Dragon Ball Z. But Metal Cooler has always been a cool design character, and the fact that he's like Frieza's brother is kind of cool too. I just love the fact that they made these pictures of him because there was like a giant army of these Metal Coolers. I mean, some rich person, I could see them buying all these and just making an army of them. It'd just be so hilarious to kind of like recreate the scene of just all of them just, you know, coming up and rushing like Vegeta and Goku. But as a figure itself, it just seems like the material, it's still like PVC and everything. It's just I'm not too familiar with like painting, how sculpted, all that type of stuff, but it's not listed as anything like actual metal. It still just says like PVC, I think. It just I'm interested to know if you guys are more, you know, knowledgeable about the paint and stuff. Like, what kind of paint do they use to kind of get this to look this way? Unless it's actually metal. That would make a lot of sense too. But it's kind of hard to tell. But a figure like this is definitely like, it's almost like a one of a kind of figure. Like, you don't see these kind of figures that look like this. So yeah, 11,000 yen, it's pretty pricey. But then again, a lot of these Dragon Ball figures, especially for not as popular characters, they're a bit more limited. I think they're just more limited. They gotta jack up the prices for some of these if they're gonna make a run, a whole manufacturer run at something like this. But yeah, nothing really to say. It's just metal, silver metal, alloy looking deal. It actually helps the look with the joints too, to cover up the joints, because it's all silver. You don't really get to see the joints. It's all just looks like it's a part of the whole figure itself. So yep, Metal Cooler. And then for S.H.Figuarts for Jujutsu Kaisen, they also are releasing a Toto figure. Not much to say here. He's very generic looking. That's kind of how he was designed. There's no more pictures just yet. I mean, he was just announced, I think, this past weekend. But Toto, I don't think we have any Figmas. There might be a pop-up parade, but we don't really have much figures of this character. It's mostly just all prize, so this S.H.Figuarts might be the next best thing that you could get from this character. How they made his faceplate right here is actually pretty damn good. And these next like couple figures, it's actually One Piece, going back to One Piece. Nico Robin, Playback Memories. So this is kind of like the OG version of Nico Robin. I'm at that point in One Piece where no spoilers or anything like that, but you know, she's Miss All Sunday. She's just not Miss All Sunday anymore. But this is a very, very sought out figure. I think at least like the resale prices are like high. They're anywhere from like 300 to like $1,000 that people are asking for this figure. So this is something that people definitely want to see again. She was originally released 2020, and now she's going to come out again at the end of the year in November 2023. So she is one of the characters that I want to collect from One Piece. So if there was still like buy now pay later options on Hobby Genki, I probably would have did that. But right now there isn't any buy later options, so I'm just gonna sit on this one. Hopefully I'm able to pick her up later in the year. But Nico Robin, the figure itself, I mean, MegaHouse generally does a pretty damn good job. Let's look at a few of the other images here. She has just a regular little purple display base, but I mean, it's really about the figure itself. It looks like Nico Robin. What can I say? I like all the little, I like the little kind of like the fur kind of jacket look. I like that. Obviously, I mean, what can I say? That's like 30% of the figure right there is just that. But everything else I really like about the figure. Like, I actually like this figure. And she doesn't cost like a fortune, which about 22,000 yen, which is right in line with pretty much a lot of these Portrait of Pirates, Playback Memories. They're around that price. So it's pretty much in line with all the other kind of re-releases of these One Piece figures. And then one of the things I was wondering too is like, okay, is she only on like, was there a peg that goes on her leg? But it looks like it actually goes up her butt, like right here, where she's actually like sitting on something rather than it being through her legs. It looks like, you know, as collectors, if you're holding for something for some time, you're always wondering if something's gonna lean. So it looks like this figure has a good support right there for the base, and it's holding her back up, which is a good idea. And then the next one is actually Mr. 2 Bon Clay, dude. Bon Clay, and I think this is the first release of this MegaHouse figure, so another Playback Memories one. I really like Bon Clay. He's a great character. I really like these kind of like masculine but flamboyant like characters. Like these characters that are like wear heels and stuff, and they're like, they give me like those Prince kind of vibes, but they're like masculine at the same time. So it's kind of like these badass kind of characters that, like, I don't know, they're super unique and very entertaining. They're great for like storytelling and just characters in general. Very weird, but at the same time very, very cool. So it's just very, very enamoring. This is Playback Memories too. I don't know what he looks like, I guess for you know, more up-to-date time skip type of stuff, but being the fact that I just finished this arc with Bon Clay in it, this is like perfect. This is like perfect Bon Clay right here. This is everything that you would want. You can see the shading in his back, cape. You see, you know, the little geese, right? The geese. His hair is not that big of a deal because that's just like how he's designed. Really is in the unique features, like how he looks, like how ugly his face looks, right? He's just a goofy designed character. The pose is like exactly what you would think of Bon Clay. You see how they like shaded in all his whole like cape right here, which is cool. You got his package right here, which is hilarious. They even added, you know, his little leg hair in here. I'm not gonna pre-order this or anything like that, but if it shows up anywhere where, you know, I could get a good deal on Bon Clay, I really like him, but I'm not sure I want to collect him. But if there's a deal, then I might be able to snag him like 25% off or something like that. Maybe I'll find them on Crunchyroll or something like that later on. But yeah, Bon Clay and Nico Robin coming at the end of the year. And then for these next two figures, it is Naruto and Sasuke. Precious Gem from MegaHouse. So these two figures was actually, they were like a non-painted in sculpt for like quite some time, for months and months and months. And so finally they're done and they released it for pre-order. So this is coming at the end of the year too. So for both figures, you're pretty much looking at like 33,000 yen to 35,000 yen, depending on where you're buying them from. And as a whole set, at least on Hobby Genki, is about 74,000 yen, 75,000 yen. So altogether, I mean, that's around 550, and that's without the shipping. So you gotta think both of them together. That's an extra $100 on top of that. So really $650 for both of them, or individually, let's say 34,000 yen, about like 250 for just one of them. And then with shipping too, you gotta think 50 to 70 bucks added on there, so you're really looking at like 300 bucks for each figure. And that is the going rate for like MegaHouse Precious Gem figures. If you look at a lot of the Itachi Suzuno ones, and you have the Kakashi one, their Precious Gems, they're all like 330 bucks to like 380 bucks. Some are like 400 bucks. They even have like the LED lights ones. So just in general, from a pricing standpoint, they're pretty pricey. But from a design standpoint, they really mimic a lot of like resin figures. It looks like a statue. It legitimately looks like a resin statue, but it's PVC. So it's gonna be cheaper, but still quite pricey because how they make them. But in terms of like the design, I'm not sure if this is like an original design of Naruto and Sasuke. I'm not sure where they pulled this from, but it's definitely like a cool design. I mean, it is really cool. I'm not too sure what the bag is. I'm man, Naruto, it's been so long. Like I kind of forgot quite a bit of things. But how he's dressed and everything, I'm not too sure what this design really is. But obviously on the base for Sasuke and Naruto, you have, Kyuubi the Kurama. And then for Sasuke, you have Susanoo. So, and then you kind of got the ring of all the Sharingan, which is really cool. But, Naruto and Sasuke, they kind of got like this little robe kind of deal. I don't really have much insight into their designs or anything like that. I just thought, it's cool. It's not something that I would have expected out of these figures. If you want something more like canon, or you want something that's like more representative of like the manga or the anime, these are probably not it for you guys. But in terms of just like a different design, let's just say it is like an original design, like it's not canon or anything, or it's more just elements taken to kind of make a different kind of version of them. I mean, Naruto Shippuden, they've been around for like 15 years now of Naruto Shippuden. So there's a ton of figures that you could get from them already. So this just puts in another unique spin to the characters and how they look. It's the same thing kind of with the Kakashi one and Itachi one too. But at least for these ones, I do like their faces more on them more than I like the Itachi Precious Gem one. I think the Naruto face is fine. I'm pretty okay with that. The Sasuke one, his face is pretty okay too. They definitely made his face look okay. I think his face looks fine. This hair, I'm not too sure about the hair, but just because they don't make too much lines and kind of, yeah, the hair sculpt is fine. It's okay. It's really not too much about the hair rather than the overall what they're doing as like a statue, right? It's just nice seeing Naruto figures kind of pop up, but as something that I would want, I don't think I really see myself. I would want something still more, specific to the story, specific to the series. I don't want like an own like kind of original design. That's just me. Maybe other people are clamoring for something different. So this is what we got out of MegaHouse. So I can't really hate on that. I'm sure they do a lot of like market research, guys. I'm sure they do all that type of stuff before they just randomly make a figure. But that's just me though. That is just me. I'm sure this is something fresh to put on the market here. The Sasuke one is the one that stands out the most to me. I mean, the ring with the Sharingan. I mean, I love it. And Naruto, I just don't know what the hell the bag is. I don't know what the bag is. But yeah, they're cool. They're nice. Going to be expensive, but not for me. And the next kind of set of figures, it's really, guys, it's really just about what I liked about the design. These are going to be, figures from series that I don't really collect. And of course, they're mostly from freaking like, it's always like Arc Knights or, Girls Front Line or something like that. Azure Lane, they got all the cool, especially the B shoujo, all the girl characters. They make them look so damn cool. So let's start with this first one, Hatsune Miku. So I kept seeing this pop up, and then there's finally some in-person pictures of these Hatsune Miku figures from Spiritale. So Spiritale is very interesting to me. So they go for really wow kind of styles. And they have like they go for a lot of kind of like pastel colors, which I like. So I like that they try to do unique designs and I like pastel colors. So when I see something like that, it definitely stands out in my eyes. But when I see this figure itself, you can see how amazing this figure actually looks. She has a whole throne. She has like the whole, I don't know why you would leave your queen or king robe on the ground, but I mean, it's on the ground. And then she had super long stringy hair. And she does not cost that much. She's a 1/7 scale and it's 35,000 yen. So about 260 for this figure. With shipping and everything, she's going to be a little bit above 300 bucks. These are the kind of figures in my eyes where if everything works out and she looks great, like I'm happy to pay that price. This just feels like a figure where I get my money's worth. It's just not about just a regular base. It's just not about just standing there looking cute, making characters look cute but erotic at the same time. It's like none of that stuff that they usually do with figures. This is a celebration, I guess, figure. 39's special day. Like, I don't know what any of that stuff means. Like, I don't know much. I don't know anything about Vocaloid or Hatsune Miku or anything like that. I just love the figure. I love the figure because it has everything about it screams it's different in a good way. You don't really find figures that really look like this. They made the base more unique. They have a chair, but it's not like any other kind of chair. It's like a throne kind of chair. She has the crown on her. She's like kind of leaning with kind of like the celebratory kind of the little ball celebration thing out in her hand. There's just a lot of things I really love about this, and I love like the balance between the colors. Because she kind of has like that teal color hair, you kind of have to have that cream kind of mix colored into her hair. So that makes it look really cool. Having that robe on the ground with that pink really bounces out too, because you wouldn't want everything to just look like teal colored. You need that crown to be a different color, to kind of have that metallic gold purple crown in to kind of balance out this whole figure. So everything about this I love. And her face seems like it's not the best in the world. And just looking at Spiritale's older releases, some of them actually did not turn out to be okay, but I'm sure over time they're going to get better and better at making these things and make the necessary adjustments to kind of fit what designs they're trying to go after. So if it just turns out to look like these pictures here, I mean, I'd be pretty happy spending 320 bucks for this figure. I'd be pretty ecstatic. So yeah, once again, another kind of girl character that gets a really badass looking figure, which it's sad because this is not, I mean, I don't have any connection to this figure, to the character, Vocaloid and all that stuff. I don't know nothing about it, but I just love what they did here as a figure. And the same thing with this next one. This is actually from Phoenix, our favorite line, right? Fruity, but this is Arc Knights. Arc Knights, Girls Frontline, Azure Lane. I think there was a couple other ones from that kind of general, all the gaming app ones. Check that out, because from that last video, there was a couple other ones that popped up again. But here's just one of them to kind of help represent what they generally, what I like about them. No matter what, from like Apex Innovation to Phoenix or anything like that, a lot of their figures, it's uniquely different because it's just not a regular base. Like, it's a sitting down pose one, but I mean, she's sitting down on a table that has like drapes all over it, right? She got the little candles and then the apples. This is more about what it looks like from the perspective of where the character is at in a scene, right? I love that aspect of it. I mean, at this point, a lot of these figures, they just look like any other kind of damn anime characters. And this one is more, obviously, she looks more on like the darker side of things, right? She kind of looks like she's probably like some devil kind of character, right? With the horns. See the shading and everything on her. She has like that, gray tint to her. So, I mean, that's the theme of this character, is darker. I just like the fact that all the drapes on the table, she has the candle lit, and you have this part right here. I don't know what it is. That's like a part of the base, and then with the apple and everything. I don't know. I dig that. So anything to me right now that doesn't have to do with just like rocks and fire and water, and just like any kind of generic base really stands out in my eyes. And how they kind of deal with figures that are sitting down versus like kind of like standing up, you know, how they're kind of posed like really matters too. I mean, this one, she's not really doing anything. She looks like she's pumping out her chest a little bit more like perked up, like, okay, what's happening here? Usually they make these kind of figures more erotic, but I mean, that's where she doesn't have that much clothes on, I guess. That's probably where that kind of, they gain that aspect, right? Table part with the drapes and stuff, like, I just like that. Just wanted to mention that this is Arknight's Mudrock Phoenix 1/7 scale Silent Knight DN06 version. So this one is coming out in October, but not 2023, of 2024, and the price listed at 24,000 yen. That ain't too bad either. 24,000 yen, that'll put you at 175 with shipping and everything. For, you know, fast shipping, you're probably looking at more like 220, and that's pretty much the prices of a lot of 1/7 scales. Even Kadokawa collection, Eastream is probably a little bit higher, but yeah, like Alter and stuff, like they're all around that price. Amakuni. So that is that. And I guess the last figure I want to talk about is an Azur Lane figure, Shokaku 1/7, the crane that dances with the wind version, Apex Innovation. So this one is listed at 18,000 yen on my figure collection, so we gotta say it's more towards like 20,000 yen, and it's coming out in December of 2023, so at the end of the year. So this one is, again, it's not so much about, I mean, she's just another B shoujo, you know, figure. Nothing that amazing about it. I mean, they always try to make these characters look more erotic. That's kind of my favorite word for this video right now, just erotic. So she has this elegant nature to her as a character, or whatever this figure is. That's what I'm getting from it. Very elegant, but they always have to make it in some way a little bit sexual. So yeah, I mean, it's see-through, you can see her butt and like stuff like that. But what stood out most to me is just not her herself, not the figure itself. But I like the theme. I do like the theme. I mean, she looks beautiful, but it's just the base. So I'm interested to see, how is this going to be one whole piece as a figure, or is there going to be pegs right here where we're going to stick her onto the base? But I love the fact that this base is 3D, that she's standing on water, but it's water that's kind of like she's literally standing on water like she's Jesus or something, right? She's standing on water, and you kind of have like the droplets in the water. You kind of have that ripple effect. I love that. That's another little subtle thing that I really like about this figure. You take that in with the theme of what, you know, the character looks like. She's wearing white, and it's kind of like, you know, kind of clear white too. So it's kind of represents, you know, I wouldn't say like virgin, but it kind of does represent like purity, right? This is a pure figure, a pure character. It represents that. And then she's like literally standing on water. She's like freaking Jesus out here, right? So as a whole figure, I do like it. And I like what they did with the base there. Very, very beautiful. Very, very cool. And that is about it here. So here on AmiAmi, 18,400 yen, 135 bucks. So let's say 180 for this figure. Let's estimate that to be around there. But yeah, seeing more and more of these figures, it does make me want to collect them, even though I don't know nothing about the character. I don't play the game, or nor am I interested in playing the game. But as just, you know, a fan of what they do with the figures, I am a fan of. So there you have it right there. So guys, there was an announcement also on Monday. I think it popped up on the Shonen Jump calendar. You guys can always just hit up the link here, and you can kind of see whatever is kind of popping up to see what they're going to make in the future. But, you know, we have B style of Kanroji and Tokitou. So the Hashiras of this current Swordsmith Village arc. So what's interesting is it's a B style for Kanroji. So they're making a B style of Nezuko. That was announced like a long time ago, but there's no sculpt or anything with that one. So we're kind of wondering if, you know, Nezuko could be a bunny, or she could just be in her like regular kimono. Or for Kanroji right here, like they could make her into a bunny, or they could just keep her as is. So it's kind of interesting to see what route they go here. Tokitou, they're probably gonna go that Uzui Tengen route. I mean, Tokito's not really one of my favorite characters or anything like that, but he has some really cool moments, and those cool moments, I mean, I don't want to say spoilers, but there's certain things about Tokitou that I like that's gonna come up. I guess I could say that. But yeah, I'm sure they're gonna go more the Azui route, maybe make it a little more limited. Maybe they'll do the cool thing where they made, like 2 faceplates for him. It would actually make a lot of sense to make couple versions of faceplates for Tokitou, but that's just me. And then yeah, Figure Art Zero, of course we can always count on Figure Art Zero to give us a budget figure with kind of cool special effects, so we can always rely on them for that. So yeah, B style of Kanroji. And then there's also the Nezuko one, which there's no sculpt or anything yet. Tokitou, B-Style, and Figure Art Zero for both of these characters. And on Monday, as I was editing this video, they were actually releasing the Jigoku Raku Yuzuriya Phoenix 1/7 scale of not just Yuzuriya, but of Sagiri and Gabimaru. So I'm guessing those 3, especially Sagiri and Gabimaru, they're going to be the main characters. And Yuzuriya, she's such a great personality, and the way that she is as a personality, she's gonna be cosplayed like crazy. There's gonna be so many simps for this character, so I can completely understand why they made a scale of her. She's definitely gonna be the most popular character to come from this anime. She even costs a little bit more, and her figure actually ends up being the best looking one. It's Phoenix, guys. Phoenix is just really hit or miss, and a lot of their figures are there's a couple here and there that pops up that I think are decent. I mean, I just made the Lloyd Forger Phoenix video not too long ago. I actually like that figure from Phoenix. But if you look at Gabimaru, he just doesn't look that great. He just doesn't look that great. I guess this is something that I will have to see. Like, I have to see more Photoshop pictures, non-processed pictures, I gotta see, because his face looks incredibly meh. It just doesn't look that great. I don't read the manga or anything like that, so I know he does like some ninjutsu stuff, so his powers, there's not much to relate to Gabimaru, especially from the anime, because he has one purpose, and it's just one purpose, and it's a simple one. I want to live to try to live a life with my wife. That is basically his motivation. This is all in episode 1, guys, so it's not really that much of a spoiler. So yeah, Gabimaru is just, oh man, good thing, like, I like the show, I don't love the show, so I'm gonna definitely pass on this. Sagiri, the same thing. Like, I like her, but I don't like her that much. She's portrayed as a deeper character when I don't think it's that deep. I mean, you boil down her motivation to, because I'm a girl, they don't think I could accomplish something. So that's basically her character right there. But as a figure, she is a samurai. I just don't really care about the special effects. Like, I just don't. Like, she doesn't have any kind of special powers or anything. She's just, like, a good samurai. That's just what she is. And the special effects, I just don't really care. That's just what it is. Her face, like Gabimaru's, is very questionable how she looks. So another one where I would like to see in person. I don't see these like really selling out at all. These are the only scales as of right now that I can think of that I've seen on my figure collection or online of them. I don't think there's anything else being announced for them. Not super duper popular characters or an anime or manga like that. So it's gonna be interesting to see how this anime, how it rounds out for, like, scale figures in general. But the winner, I think the winner it has to be this one, Yuzuriya, and she's gonna be the most popular character. Obviously, how she looks, Kunoichi, she is, a female ninja. Those are very popular, and her personality is like perfect. She's like perfect to corral in all these kind of like male fans. So she has that kind of personality, very endearing, and there's gonna be a lot of people that sent for her. And this figure, as a design and everything, it comes out pretty good. So it just really boils down to how does the quality of this figure, how does it actually come out? And as just the designs and just comparing the picture from this one compared to the Sagiri and the Gabimaru, I think this one has the best chance to coming out looking really good. Again, this series isn't as popular as a lot of the other ones like a Demon Slayer. So I don't really see these selling out or anything. FNX figures generally don't like sell out. So on release day, there's plenty of opportunity to buy this, and especially if you're from the States, you can always wait until the United States stores get it and you can just buy it then. So yeah, I like this figure. There's enough shading on there on all the purple of her kind of outfit here to make it, passable or, purchasable. And her hair, is nothing sculpted too amazing, but there's enough depth here because she has her hair kind of like tied up. So there's plenty of opportunity here to kind of make her hair look pretty damn good, or at least good enough. Like, I just need it to look good enough. Yeah, so Yuzuriya, she's about 24,750 yen, and that comes out to be $184. With, like, let's say DHL shipping, you're probably looking at 230 bucks, 240 bucks overall. So that's pretty much in line with the rest of the competition. They're all in that price range. And Sagiri and Gabimaru, 22,000 yen, so 160 bucks ish. So again, what DHL is going to be on a little bit lower end, let's say 210 to 220 with DHL shipping. So very, just at market price for the rest of the competition. Yeah, I think as an anime, as a fan of a watcher of this anime, I guess I wouldn't say I'm like a full-blown fan. It's just not that deep of an anime. The characters are cool, not great. And if there was any characters I would collect, it would be this Yuzuriha character right here. So yeah, that is it for this video. So just let me know what you guys think about any of these figures. How do you guys feel about any of this stuff? Is there anything that you guys are pre-ordering? I would love to know. So yeah, it's your boy, Otaku-san, and this is a figure updates video. Do me a favor, guys. Hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't already. Check out my blog at otakusen.com. Check out my anime channel, How to Animate Otaku-sen. And yeah, I appreciate you guys watching, and I'll see you guys on the next video.